went to
before Disney.
ABC.
But you're in Dallas.
Well, I could put a team together.
And fucked out.
I was going to say Santa called, wants his book back.
Come on. I'm gonna let her grow. This is I haven't even had my semi-annual haircut yet. So.
Have you ever cut off a beard? Actually, is that your first? Because you don't do it.
I've had a beard since I was 19.
I mean, yeah.
And that's a lot of years ago.
How old were you when we met?
God, 92?
Yeah.
Well,
okay, that's good.
Now I can do little ads. I'm 30, 34, 35.
So
Y'all were just pups.
I was 27, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And golly, we had some fun. In there. And then when John moved to Indiana, we would do it by satellite, I guess you call it. I don't know what ISDN line is what it was.
Yeah.
And we still did sample sales. We still did the 2 bits a day.
Is the only problem about doing this Zoom?
That got to be cumbersome, and so we got in Eric Harley to do the voices, and John would do
if we don't
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sample sales and Willie Landum on Fridays, and then whatever miscellaneous bit we'd come up with.
You do 2 a day.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about that a lot of people don't realize is writing it's interesting.
There's a computer right there.
Because you just
there's a computer right there.
There's nothing to go off. You're just thinking it, you know? And how we would do it was we'd start, looking at news stories and stuff like that. But we wrote all those bits while we were on the air. And sometimes they would get finished, seconds before the air. And so it was fun. Man, we had a good time with those.
John was the voice for all. So
John was the voice up until he moved to Indiana, and like I said, became a little cumbersome. And then Eric took over there, but he is the voice of the most recognizable characters.
He is the Mel Blanc of the second.
He is all of the characters that are still today. When people ask, if they find out about that I worked at WVAP, they'll still say, "Oh man, I loved Sample Sales," and that was Johnny. And Willie Landon was also one of my favorites. There was Back to the Stars. And
I only had one voice.
Yeah.
Good thing. I wouldn't tell him what I wouldn't.
Yeah, that computer.
I just do it.
And he's the funniest of them all.
Tell us about the first time you went there.
Oh, well, I was just telling him about it, you know. I'm dressed up in a coat and tie like an idiot, you know. I realize you walk in there, guys are barefoot, look like they came out of collapsed mines.
Pretty much.
And they're looking at me like, what is wrong with you? And in about 10 minutes, I showed them exactly what was wrong. And Hal, I'd gone up there.
Well, we just took it up through that next week.
Hal promised he'd record me first because I'm not doing this live. I'll get this far.
Okay.
And anyway, he said, yeah, well, we'll do it. An hour goes by, and I know they're about to end the show, and I'm going, Hal, when are we going to record this bit? He said, about a minute. He said, you're still live. He said, I know you're going to do it live. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do it live. There's no way I'm going to do it live. I thought of a way, I'll get this far. I can't be you savage. And he said, fine, you're, hey, would you sue me?
He came up with it right there.
I hated that name. Sue me sounded Japanese, so I dropped that. Not that there's anything wrong with Japanese, it's just a, you sue me.
Racist.
Yeah, right. Well, that was one of the cleanest things we ever did, during that time period. We let Oak Lawn pretty much have it every week.
Yeah, in listening back to all those bits, it is by today's standards shocking sometimes, but dang, is it funny? And the thing about listening to these, 20 years later, is
well, next week
funny is just everlasting. I mean, that's why we still laugh at Milton Berle stuff or Johnny Carson or Carol Burnett, because funny's just funny. Man, we wrote some really funny stuff.
And I don't see how you did it that quick on the spur.
I watched it. They did it.
They did it.
Yeah, it was just.
There's a lot of times we were listening to. Usually we came on the afternoon one. We came in right after the ABC News.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times. That was a 5-minute broadcast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times Hal and I'd be looking at each other. Hey, we got 4.5 minutes. You got any ideas? So we scratched something out. It was a lot easier with Sean because then we had a third brain in there.
Right.
And eventually it got to the point where I was not in the studio anymore. They had everything written, and I just.
What was great, you did it with perfect deflection. I mean, everything was just like you'd rehearse it for days.
Hey guys,
Hal Jay was the best straight man ever.
do you know that one of our members bought Dick Siegel's house somewhere and brought me all that stuff?
I've got all of those. He's gonna be real
I've got all of those jokes and everything.
Oh yeah.
I've got it all.
Yeah.
When did you start doing the morning show and the evening?
So we had when Johnny left to go to Indiana, Tyler Cox, our program director, asked me if and Hal was getting off afternoons then, so they were putting together an afternoon show, and he said, do you want to do mornings or afternoons? And I said, tell me which I'd have a bigger role in, because you probably have a more on-air presence in the afternoons. He said, but if I was you, I'd take the morning show. I'm like, sounds good, you're the boss. So that's when I started doing mornings then with Hal, and that was, geez, when did you move, Johnny?
1997.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 97, took over board op in the morning show, and at that point it was just me and Hal in the studio. So
Dick Siegel was already there doing the trap stuff.
Dick was up in the airplane, and then so I'd be running all the board and pushing all the buttons and trying to write jokes at the same time. And
Dick was up in the airplane because the helicopter wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that. That happened right before I got there.
Ask you what? Were you in your car doing traffic? Well, misunderstanding there.
There was a time, I still remember this day. This was shortly after or shortly before the helicopter incident. They lost the helicopter, so he had to be put in an airplane. Well, they decided we're going to put Dick in the studio with Hal.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, days Hal was ready to climb across that console, and he was going to kill Siegel. If he'd have got to him, I'm afraid he would have killed him.
No.
But if this, they on the air they got along great. Off the air, it was sometimes yes, sometimes no.
It seemed like they had good chemistry. I mean,
that's the
they kept
thing.
everything
Yeah,
going and funny all
Until
the
they turned the
time.
mics off.
Yeah.
Look at
chemistry. And John was the best voice guy. That that's why the bits were so successful, was because John could just act it. And one of the hardest parts about doing those bits is maintaining that voice the whole way through, and just on the fly coming up with the right inflection or the right pause. And John's a master at it, and he was fantastic.
And Hal had that perfect laugh, it sounded like somebody just punctured a snow tire,
It was that wacky racer laugh guy. Yeah, that wheezy laugh.
But when he really laughed, and I'm going over this, he will hit his arm on that console and go, like that, just.
Well, yeah.
Then you've hit it. Well, funny deal with it.
The thing that would tickle me about Hal too is we'd get done writing the bit, play a commercial, and then the bit's airing, and he is laughing at it and genuinely laughing because Hal's memory isn't that great sometimes. So it's like he's hearing the joke for the first time, even though he just wrote it, and he is genuinely tickled by what he just wrote.
Yeah.
All that stuff was
It's funnier if you look at him during the bits, he'd be mouthing the words.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what was coming and still laugh.
Yeah. And then we'd always, if there'd be interaction between the character and Hal, he'd 9 times out of 10 forget what his line was or what interaction he was supposed to have, with the character.
But you weren't on the microphone; you were on the board, so you were just over there laughing anyway.
Yeah, just sitting back there laughing, and which is fine. And looking back on the career, I probably should have done some things different. Maybe tried to be a talent side. Probably would have made a lot more money. But
wear pants.
Well,
I mean, that was no big deal.
For 40 years,
you're asking for a lot.
For the 40 years I was in radio, I wore pants, only when it was cold. But yeah, shorts and t-shirts the whole time. But man, I just had such a good time that I never pursued anything else.
As a listener, I had a good time too because we tuned it in to listen to find out.
Well, we had TV monitors and stuff in the studio, and we'd always have the news on, and I would always see those just rows and rows of taillights in people stopped in traffic. It's like, God dang it, guys, we got to do a really good show for them because that just sucks.
Let me tell you something. If we're laughing in the studio, which we were, they're laughing in the car. Absolutely. And I mean, there were wrecks out there listening to some of these bits. I mean,
I can't tell you how many people have told me that they were late for work.
Yeah,
and probably some accidents because
there were accidents.
They all were tanked up on their coffee and needed to go to the bathroom, and then they heard something funny and they couldn't hold it anymore.
Yeah. Coffee went everywhere, I'll tell you that.
It was a shame that the bits got killed off. I always thought, Johnny, that we ought to bring them in one by one and just shoot them in the head. Each when the bits got killed off because the boss at the time said that they were ratings neutral, which I can't believe.
As they say in the podcast, bullshit.
Yeah.
First of all, they're not ratings neutral.
And
it's something else that sucks.
Yeah.
And that it was just too much of a distraction for Hal, and I don't know why he eventually killed them off, but they
Bits
did.
made the show.
Yeah. Oh, and to this day, like I said, to this day, people will come up and say, "Man, I miss those bits." Man, and it's been 20 years, I think.
Over 20.
Post 20.
I can't believe John's been going for 30
Yeah,
years.
I got the phone call in 2008, and they said, "Well, you can quit now, or you can stay on for 2 more weeks." I go, "You know what? You're going to pay me. I'm done."
Yeah.
I don't think I want to stick around for 2 more
I
weeks.
guess I never heard the story of how you.
It was a phone call. I got a phone call, and it was Tyler. He said, "Hey," they've decided to, or I can't remember the way he worded it to be exactly, but it was basically, "You're done."
Yeah.
And we'll pay you for the next 2 weeks. You can work or you can not work. And I said, "Not." So,
Hell, it was worse for Steve Lamb. They blindsided him.
That was just recently?
That was terrible. Yeah.
yeah,
Good old Cumulus.
So,
Yeah. Not my favorite company.
Man, they go bankrupt about every 10 minutes.
I think it was real frustrating for our boss because he was a hardcore news guy, and one of the most brilliant news talk program directors to ever exist. He's just really good. He was the guy that gave Rush Limbaugh his start. But I think it really frustrated him that the bits got so much attention when he was trying to make it, because obviously we were country. When I first started there, we were still playing country music.
Country gold.
And when he took it over and started doing, news talk, I think it was real frustrating for him to see the popularity of the bits, and I don't know if that had something to do with him killing them off, but it would always, you could always see him get irritated when somebody would come up and say, "Golly, I love those bits," and not, "Oh, golly, I love those news stories."
What news talk doesn't do, what I learned is you go teach somewhere, you got to inform and entertain, not necessarily in that order. And if they ever put entertainment with, news talk, it's so, that's when WFP was number one.
Oh my God, it was
entertain.
It was heady times.
And inform.
And the best thing,
too.
The best thing Tyler ever did was keep Hal J. He realized Hal's not a news guy by any stretch, and but I think he realized the power of Hal and kept him on, and that was the best decision he could have ever made, because it just
the happiest I've ever seen Hal is when we told him that Post Malone's parents listened to it. True story. You're going, Post Malone?
Well, we did it. I remember we were doing it. We did a story on Post Malone, and Hal's looking at him, and he says, "Man, I wonder if his parents are proud of him with all those face tattoos." And his dad wrote in. His dad emailed Hal and said, "Yeah, we're proud."
All the way to the bank.
That million we got this week, we're kind of proud of it.
How about Porter Randall? When was he on there?
Oh, that was,
God, I think I was an
elementary
infant
school.
then. God, that's been a while.
He used to come in the 50s to elementary school.
I got Norm Hitchcock. When was he on? I was trying to think. That's been 30 years,
Way before
40
my
years.
time.
How about
Yeah,
Bill
he
Mack?
went on very long.
Was Bill Mack still doing the
Bill
show
Mack was
whenever
still
you were
doing. Yeah, he was
Midnight
still
Cowboy?
Midnight Cowboy, and
there? That'd go off at 6 o'clock, right?
yes, sir. Or no, 5 o'clock, because then we had Hello Texas with Don Harris.
Unless Bill was visiting a sick friend that needed comfort.
I tell you, I got to do the midnight show on the weekends, playing music and man, that was so much fun, because I'd take calls from all over the country because of the power of the skip of
50,000
WBAP.
watts.
Yeah. And man, I'd get calls from Canada, I'd get calls from New England, Mexico, it was crazy. And I was on a vacation once out in San Diego, and my daughter and I went on one of those charter fishing boats, with 50 other people. And I had a BAP cap on, and a guy comes up and says, "Man, are you Al J?" Because he knew that Al was on vacation. I said, "No, I'm Sean Chastain." And he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that I'm listening, or that I'm meeting you." He goes, "I own a little tiny radio station north of Fort Collins, Colorado." He said, "I get up and listen to you guys every morning, and I make my jocks listen to you guys." He said, "Because that's the way radio should be." That's just the power of WBAB.
That was
So
pretty
I
neat.
lived in Colorado Springs,
Yeah.
and I'd wake up to it.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, it was really fun doing the Bill Mack show. And Bill was so Don Day left when I got there, because like I said, he didn't want to board up the Rush Limbaugh show. So that was my first job. Well, my first job, Tyler needed somebody to run a baseball game, one baseball game, and he said, "I can pay you for 2 days. Come in and train on running a baseball, one of the Ranger games." And he said, "Come in, run the Ranger game." And he said, "Unfortunately, I don't have anything else for you." I'm like, "I'll do it." And so I did, trained, ran the game. And then I think it might have been the next weekend or the weekend after, as it happens in every radio station across the country, somebody doesn't show up. And he said, "Can you fill in?" And I did. And that's when I started just picking up hours. I would never turn down hours. I'd be there for, probably 30 hours at a stretch, because I'd do one shift, take off, do another shift, and I would just never say no.
Midnight and weekend.
Yeah.
That's when you were still at Broadcast Hill.
Yeah, still at Broadcast Hill, and then got on full time when we moved to Arlington. Yeah, and
most fun I ever had to cut in, but Galloway was on there too, and just
Well, you did.
Galloway was the best. You remember you and me were on his show one time, and some basketball player had gotten into it, and you played the part of the basketball player, and I was kind of interviewing, and we were going back. God, it was hilarious. What was that basketball player that played out in California? Real dipshit, whoever he was.
I've destroyed so many brain cells through the years. It's hard to remember all that kind of stuff.
You sounded just like him. It was hilarious.
That's why I got these bits digitized, man, because golly, I couldn't remember. I don't remember, a tenth of the jokes that we wrote.
That's $1 million times
portfolio things. I can't think. You had a zipper on it, it's like yay big. You put paperwork and stuff in it.
Yeah.
I had 17 of those, full. I mean, stuffed full of every bit I had ever written.
Yeah.
Those, along with the tapes of all those shows, are in the attic in my old home.
Dude.
Give us the address, we'll go by there.
Yeah.
They have sold.
The worst part of it is to go back and try to read my writing.
Right.
Because, I've written.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what half of them said.
Yeah, I don't know how you did the bits after seeing your writing.
Well, most of it was in here.
Yeah.
And that was a cheat.
Right.
No, but
God, you were just the master at it, man. You're just the best.
Is there one that just stands out that you can remember that you did thousands of them?
God, how many did we write?
Oh, dude, I have
Where were the
no
bombs
idea.
going off? Was that Wacky Iraqi
Yeah,
or was that
Wacky.
Ahmed
That was
Dangerfield?
Ahmed Dangerfield.
Ahmed Dangerfield.
He's the wacky.
No
Iraqi.
bombs going off. I was in the car and I damn near had a wreck. I mean, that was the funniest damn thing I've ever heard.
And then listening back, Johnny, the commercials that you would read, obviously Southwest Ford, but the gun store, the
Cabela?
No, it was
Chicken and Dirt?
I can't remember the name of the gun shop now, but
I can't remember that.
golly, those commercials are great. Just the way you treated them. So man, they were really, really funny stuff.
John, do a Southwest Ford in Weatherford. Tell us.
Southwest Ford, God.
Yeah.
Those guys really helped me get paid to do Sanford sales. Because when I first started doing it, one of the salespeople, Reba Blevins, I think, who said, "Hey, I've got this client who wants to sponsor Sam, and you'll get paid." And I go, "Okay." As soon as I heard y'all get paid, I was, "Okay, I'll do that."
Yeah.
Those were a lot of fun.
I saw her the other day. She should tell you how, matter of fact.
Who's that?
Reba.
Oh, Reba. God, I miss Reba. She's a sweetheart.
Sorry, I'm married. Get that all the time.
The last bit that John did for us was Hal's 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I had him I wrote a Willie Lando. It was really funny, I thought. And one of the lines in there was that our boss took all the characters and dug that little red lead hammer out of his tackle box and beat each character over the head until it was dead. But
Killed them all.
Yeah, man, it was. I tell you, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It's one of those jobs that you kept thinking, one of these days they're going to find out what we're doing in here.
Yeah.
And fire every one of them.
Oh yeah.
There's no way we should be getting paid to do this.
That was the most fun I've ever had. And I was only doing 15 minutes, but I hung around just to listen to you guys. I mean, it was just fun.
We got people asking, give the names of these guys, so go around the table.
Sean Chastain. I was 30 years at WBAP.
Hugh Savage, you can call me Haywood. In fact, Hugh Savage is only used by my creditors. My kids call me Haywood.
My name's Rick Irvin.
And John Hanson is with us from Indiana.
All the way from the great state.
That is Sam from Sales right there.
Sam from Sales, Willie Landon, Rusty Springs, Wacky Iraqi, Elvis.
Ahmed Dangerfield.
Oh,
My favorite Dusty was Dusty. Always liked Dusty.
Dusty
God, I
Plains.
forgot about it, yeah.
Dusty Plains, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. It was fun.
It was. Then when Eric took over, after they unceremoniously let John go, which I had no idea about till today. We continued it on, and we had some really funny stuff there. One of the most memorable times was 9/11, and John was gone already, but it was the craziest thing because we had a TV in the studio, and Hal and I had written a bit, and the reason I remember it is because of the contents of the bit. They were going to demolish a building at the airport.
Yeah.
And that was 9/11. So we saw this, the plane go in, the first plane go in, and our news guy was downstairs smoking, Dan Potter, and this was 5 minutes to 8, I think, or no, we were just about to do the bit, so it's probably 10 minutes to 8. And we said, man, that doesn't look like a small plane. This looks pretty serious. And our news producer then got on the air and started, doing the news story. Finally, Dan Potter comes back up from the smoke break. And obviously we scrapped the bit because it wouldn't be appropriate. But I just thought it was so bizarre that we wrote a bit about demolishing a building at the airport, and then that happens.
I think that was some kind of benefit they were doing to raise money and letting the public go out there and do it. They had to delay it because it just wasn't a good taste.
I was washing the car, I'll never forget it, and I heard one of the guys cut in and said, "Small plane just hit the World Trade Center."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's impossible.
Yeah.
What do you mean a small plane? Then they said another one, and I said, oh. I called my employees and I said, Rosie and them said, we're on the way in. I said, turn around and go get your kids out of school.
Mm-hmm.
We're under attack.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. And then just to sit there because I just ran up ABC News and that's all we did for
And the next day it was so quiet. There was no planes in it.
No, they grounded everything.
There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Davis was stuck down in Mexico for 2 weeks. Nobody could get anywhere.
Yeah. But when you went outside, it was like there was no traffic. The sounds you normally hear, there was nothing.
That's one of the few bits I can remember, though, and it never aired. We wrote so many that, and I have to listen to it again to.
Well, it's like you said, what was your favorite one? Well, every one we wrote, we thought the best one ever. So it's kind of like your baby. You can't, it's hard to do.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
The pick.
And golly, it was just, and I really wish we could have played a couple today because they're really special. So hopefully we'll try to get something worked out where maybe we can do a podcast just dedicated to the bits.
Yeah, we're going to use a dedicated computer, and I was just talking to the guys, and we'll set that up during the week, and then that way we won't be running it off iPads.
I'm a working man now. I'm working at a machine shop in Brock.
In Brock?
Yeah. So when I got let go from BAP, I was lost. I've wanted to be in radio since I saw Wolfman Jack in American Graffiti. And so I was 9 years old. And I said, man, that is the coolest effing job I've ever seen. I want to do that.
Del Rio, Texas.
And so I just angled toward that. And at 19, I was sitting in college, not getting into community college at that, and just failing. And so I walked into the local radio station. I said, what can I do? I want to be in this business. And they said, well, you can hang out if you want. And again, same story. And John, you probably experienced this too. Same story. Somebody didn't show up. They said, hey, can you fill in? Yeah. Then I was full time after that, And and so I wanted to do it. So when they let me go, man, it broke my heart, and I was completely lost. was.
Because it wasn't a job. It
was my life.
It was your life.
Yeah. And so I needed something to do. I got into a program where they paid for school, but it had to be in a career that needed people, you know. And so,
like art appreciation.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Yes, sir.
Right back.
We know where you're going.
Yeah. Dirty bastard. Anyway, so I picked machining because it's always interested me. I've always worked with my hands and stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. But man, it ain't radio. I can tell you that.
Do you listen to the radio while you do that?
Yeah. In fact, really good buds with Mark Davis, who used to be at WBAP talk show 9 to noon or 9 to 11, and he's now at 660 The Answer.
You know where I saw him the other day? He's on with Will Kane.
Oh,
probably every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
On Fox.
And so I listen to him, and then I'll just bounce around either music or some talk shows. There's kind of a lack of decent talk shows right now, in my opinion. But so yeah,
we're all worried about offending somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't have done good in the woke culture back in the day.
Well, that's the thing, man. Listen to these bits. Some of them are truly shocking.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you say, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Even back then, and that was, you know,
the funniest guy in the building though was Haywood, and he wrote everything and wrote it meticulously. I mean, he would tell me that he'd be up all night writing these bits.
That's where I got hooked on Diet Coke. I wake up at 1 and up and throw that caffeine down, and hey, that might work, you know.
Do you remember the line about you had a pet bird?
Oh yeah.
I don't know why this tickled me so much, but it did.
Yeah, I had a pet parrot, and I breeded it with a vulture. Still talked a lot, mostly about death.
But then he would read his letters to Haywood.
Hi, Haywood.
And just Haywood was way funnier than Lee, Hal, or John. You know?
Oh, yes, no, that's not true. No.
Yeah.
You guys were unbelievable.
It was good time, Johnny. Good time.
Okay.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Unlike you, when I got that phone call, I guess the best way it pissed me off.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, the heck with this. And I can't remember how many times here the last couple of years there was some kind of a deal going on. They wanted to fly me in from Indiana and do some kind of a deal for Hal's anniversary or the station's anniversary.
Right.
I said, nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I don't blame you, man.
You know, I'm done. So done.
I don't blame you, because and the way they go about it is just. I knew I was getting fired when they took me off the morning show. I've been on the morning show for 25 years, and at one point we had, producer, phone screener, board operator. All those jobs started getting condensed. So then the board operator was doing the call screening, and then the board operator was doing the call screening and the producing for talk shows. And when they took me off the morning show and put a guy who was making a whole lot less than I was, and I was not making a lot of money, I knew that my time was near. And I think they thought when they took me off the morning show that I quit, but I hung in there for like another year and a half, and I was as depressed as I've ever been. They put me on from 9 to 5, no breaks, no lunch. Can't leave the studio, so I could go to the bathroom. Which I don't even know if it's illegal.
Go to the bathroom or you don't?
No, from 9 to 5 with no.
Free Nelson Mandela.
They can't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they could do that, but they did. And then finally they got HR involved and said I was making too many mistakes. And I lived through Bob Schomper.
Oh boy.
We had a program director that was bipolar, I believe. I don't want to.
I still hear from him.
When we always joke that when he's on his meds, he was a good guy, but I don't know if he was bipolar or not. But anyway, he had his days, and I was telling the story off air that you asked me if we ever got called on the carpet, and not really. As far as stuff we had written, except for one time we did Jackie Stewart. Can you do Jackie Stewart for us, Johnny?
Jackie Stewart! No, Jackie Stewart!
We did a bet.
He was a lot of fun. He just screamed.
Just screamed. And then the closing line for Jackie Stewart was, "Stand on it until you smell stink."
That's right.
We did a bit with Jackie Stewart about NASCAR, and Jackie mentions Dick Trickle, famous NASCAR driver from the 80s, 90s, and boss came in about that. It's like, "What's this Dick Trickle? That's not appropriate. That's not." It's like the guy's name. You know?
That Chomper Tower.
Yeah, no, it was Chomper. Yeah. And yeah, it was pretty funny. So I don't know, man. Sometimes I got it, sometimes I didn't. Tyler was funny. I just don't think he ever thought they were that funny, which is fine. I mean, some people don't. But
what direction are they trying to go now? The employees that work there
due south
can see they're actively hiring people. What does that tell the people that work there? Have y'all invented new jobs, or is this my replacement?
No, when I got let go, I called my sister, who's in HR stuff, and she looked it up, and they had already posted the job posting for my position.
Wow.
Oh, that's horrible.
And it was part-time, $7.50 an hour.
Oh,
ah!
You believe that?
Minimum wage.
Yeah.
It's not even minimum.
To work at one of the most recognized radio stations in the country, where when coming up, I worked at tiny stations and then get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And when I first started at WBAP, I was doing a morning show in Mineral Wells, and got the call to do that one baseball game, and the rest is history. But you had to work your way up back in the day, and now you can walk into a 50,000 watt legacy station and get a job with no experience. Yeah, it's just a sad state that what radio's turned into.
Well, it's going to what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Going to streaming and podcasts and that kind of stuff. But
well, actually, we could do what we used to do in the 90s here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so many.
We'll be able to say shit on the radio.
We can do on the air. We can do now.
No shit.
No shit.
Probably the biggest mistake I ever made was doing bits, WAP, to go over to the ranch, which proved to me I don't need alcohol to make bad decisions. I missed that so much doing it. In fact, I started doing it again, just to occasionally go over and do a bit with, Hal, because I just missed it so much.
Yeah.
Using Haywood and everything.
It's a lot of fun.
They tried to claim they own that name, but no, they didn't. The Haywood name.
Yeah, Hal was the best at coming up with the name.
He just come up with a name.
Because we would do, depending on what news story there was, that we'd come up with some offhand bit that just, and John would develop a voice instantly, and Hal would come up with these names. I was never good at the fishing lures. Hal's really good.
Those were fun to do.
God.
Some of the real fishing lures have some of the wackiest names anyway.
I was never good at coming up with them though, but that and Rusty Springs, all the
I like that one.
Things went wrong with the car.
Yeah, all the crazy things that were wrong with the car. That
Who came up with those names? Good Lord.
It was all of us just throwing stupid
group thing for the most part.
Yeah,
the Eagle Hero next to the Berry.
It was amazing y'all did it on the fly.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but yeah, to write them
way back when Hal and I very first started doing these things, we thought, you know what, we're going to come in an hour early, and we're going to have all of our bits written up and ready to go. So when we go in the studio, we can do whatever we want. We can add, take away.
Right.
We couldn't come up with nothing. We needed the pressure. We needed the pressure to do it.
One of the first times that I remember hanging out on Broadcast Hill in the afternoons, and John was doing a bit, and it was is it bigger than a bread box?
Oh, yeah.
What was the name of the bit? What's in my hand?
I do remember that. I can't remember.
Oh my God, it was hilarious, and I'm trickling pee because I'm laughing so hard at the dirty things that John's coming up with. What's in?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? Yeah.
Oh my God, just unbelievable funny stuff.
I used to ask songwriters as fast as they write, they wrote. If your best songs that you took days to write, months, or one you just wrote in about 5 minutes, every one of them would say, the one's real quick, like that. And like your bits, I mean, I'd sit there and watch it. In less than 10 minutes, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's just like crisis deadline is what I call it. Oh, we got to have this in 10 minutes, and then you just, all of a sudden, it just starts flowing. Kind of like caffeine does to me.
My dad, I would wake up, look at the news, and see what, the big stories were, and then start thinking of what character we could do it with that news story, and think about it all the way in, because I live in Weatherford, so it wasn't bad when we worked in Arlington.
Your drive was, I don't even know you did.
But then, when they pulled me off the morning show, I would leave my house at 6:30 in the morning and get home at about 7 at night. Dude, Johnny, I was as depressed as I've ever been, not being on the morning show and just knowing that my radio days were coming to an end,
I think I felt the same way, but I reacted in anger.
Yeah.
I was mad to the heck with it. I don't need you. I'm never going to come back to this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done, you name it, I've done it since I left radio.
I think blessings that podcasts have come on, that we're going to get Hal and Steve back in here, and after probably August 1st. Steve wanted to come on. He's out of town. He's taking vacations now. A lot.
One of the ideas for a podcast that I had is, playing the bits, but then maybe writing one. Yeah. If we were all together, you and Hal.
Right on.
Because there's so few opportunities to see how the sausage is made when it comes to comedy. You just see it. And one of the early examples was like the Dick Van Dyke Show, because they were comedy writers, and so him and Maury Amsterdam and Sally, yeah.
Carl Reiner was originally supposed to star in that. That's what he had written that for.
He was it.
Well, I know he was in it, but I mean, star in the Dick Van Dyke part.
But anyway, that was one of the few examples you get to see about how comedy is written, and now because the funniest lines that we ever wrote could have never made it here.
Oh no!
And
they were funny.
Oh my God, the stuff. Just bouncing stuff off each other in the studio was unbelievable. But none of it could make the air.
If it was offensive, it went on.
Pretty much. You didn't hear some of it because, it was too offensive. Some of the stuff, but God dang, it was funny.
And if we thought it was too offensive, you can imagine how offensive it truly was.
Yeah.
Just think how careful you have to be now. Because you're going to offend.
Oh my God! Yeah, I
don't
know.
That's what we want to do.
I don't know if we could play.
Bill Maher's come around.
2/3 of the bits that we did. I don't know. Without getting canceled, as they say today.
No way you could do the wacky Iraqi.
Well, the gay community was taking a beating too.
Yeah.
Well, there was that Daryl Grabmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
The florist, right?
Yeah. Yoo-hoo!
Look out.
Getting big trouble for doing him nowadays, too.
Is your zipper down?
We gave Oak Lawn a pretty good ration.
Yeah, the mayor of Oak Lawn. Right. I came up with the name of that. All I remember is his hat was plumes. Anyway.
Good stuff, man.
Good stuff. It was fun.
Yeah. I agree. And this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to see you guys again. It's been a million years.
It has,
Sean,
man.
I've been 5 or 6 years since I've seen you.
But I can't believe it's been 30 years since you've been gone.
How many?
10?
No.
5?
It's only been 5.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Months?
All of like October of 21 when we moved back. Then Mom passed in 24, and I was ready to pack up. Let's go. So I told my wife, let's do. It's time to head south. And her business is taking off.
Let me just tell you, once you turn 78, every birthday party is a surprise party. Every single one of them.
Every successful farm's a surprise for you.
No success. That's true.
Just waking up, yeah.
Well, change the sheets again, Mama. It was fun.
So we'll have a WBAP reunion as soon as we can get Hal and
We get Steve out of Oklahoma, get him back down here.
He's on vacation every week.
I don't know.
They're in the Bahamas.
I don't think Deborah's ever going to quit that job. He was always waiting for her to get a national job, and she's as good as anybody.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
world.
She's
Talk about a great woman. I mean, really, in newscast.
Yeah, I'd love to get back with you guys and play some of these bits and talk
No,
about them.
you're going to get back with us.
Yeah, we're going to do a dedicated show.
Don't you
All
worry.
right.
They'll all be here.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys, let's round it up. Rick, what do you got going this week?
I don't know.
Nothing? Or you been doing a lot
I
of?
haven't been doing a lot.
Yeah.
I've kind of taken the summer.
Well, November you're busy, I can tell you that.
Yeah. November.
Snapping pictures
Yep.
at boxing range.
Snapping pictures, and you'll be back in the ring.
I'll be back in the ring.
And our
Just
friend
as long as they
Don,
don't hit me again.
our friend Don Graves got to meet the president last week.
Wow.
Well, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
It's on his bucket list, and 101.
Hey, this Brooke who works right down the.
Yeah.
Did you ever see her anymore?
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah.
They moved their offices
Secretary of
from here
Agriculture, by the way.
to over off 7th Street. I don't want to say where,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think she's doing a great job.
Oh, yeah.
That screwworms kind of got. I hadn't heard all of that lately. Is
Haven't had that in years.
Calm
I
down.
think it's about 250 miles from where I saw something from Parker County or something saying, hey, this is how many cases, but this is good.
Well, you got to kill the cow, don't you? I mean, everything they catch, you got to kill them over.
But everything, every day it's a new world.
Yeah.
Where I heard a guy the other day that's definitely leans left, and he said, "No, I think we need to nominate Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. He stopped that war 34 times now."
Stop serving, yeah.
I thought it was more.
Hey, we got a peace deal going. I heard it last night. Another peace. Oh, the whole point of Iran, they are trying to lie to the infidels.
Well, they're never going to stand
They're
up
never
for
going.
anything anyway.
They're never going to honor a deal.
No.
They're just buying time. I
Yeah.
don't know why they do it. Why?
They do a pretty good job on it.
They're doing.
Yeah, their peace deal is a piece of the bridge, a piece of the oil refinery.
Yeah.
Those are all getting blown up.
I don't know why you think it left.
Just think about all the material you'd have today.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun. Unfortunately, we couldn't do any of it.
No.
Yeah.
We'll think of something.
Okay.
This is fun. I like this.
Okay, guys, we appreciate everybody being on. So we're going to sign off. We will have our technical issues cleared up. We've got a computer here that we're going to dedicate just for this deal so we can do
The bits.
John Hanson.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, stay safe in Indiana.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Y'all take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Wait,
Good
you're
to
going to
see
be
you,
down
pal.
for the wedding, aren't you? I'm sorry.
Do what now?
Your son's wedding, isn't it? Aren't you coming down for
That will probably be next year, but we're probably going
okay.
to try to be, like I said, I'm going to try to get there for Christmas this year if we can. So
Be sure and come by the museum here.
Will do.
Get
Will do.
Haywood to bring you by.
all right.
Good to see you, Johnny.
All right,
You
guys.
too, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
How do you?
We're still live, so wait till we turn everything
We're
on.
on a hot
We're off.